So last joint is Joe Budden, Raging the Machine.
Excuse me, the last joint is Rage in the Machine.
Ugh, didn't I tell you to go to bed?
But anyway, yes, it is Joe Budden, Rage in the Machine, and I, I personally didn't know how to approach this album going in. There was the whole he got this whole thing where he was literally going to change his name to Rage and tour with Arab Music, aka The Machine, and that was gonna be his way of sticking it to the industry, going independent, keeping all of his money, and living in this new digital age. Obviously, someone told him that that was a bad idea, and he's built up Joe Budden this long. He needs to keep on with that. Shout out to his Jewish manager. Um, and he just released it as Rage in the Machine by Joe Budden or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's so funny. He makes fun of Drake, and Drake always uses the prayer hands emoji. Yet you see him on his fucking album with the prayer hands. I just thought that that was ironic. But the reason why I was a little confused, I didn't know how to approach this album is because when it comes to the career of Joe Budden, I'm like a crack addict. I'm always chasing that original high that I got off of, I believe, Mood Music 2. I came into Mood Music 2, and I heard when I first was introduced to Joe Budden outside of the DJ Clue freestyles over the radio because I would hear them live. Loved living in the tri-state area growing up. Uh, but like outside of that, I heard him on Mood Music 2, and he was letting loose bars, and not only bars, but very sincere uh journal type bars that like it gave me a look into a artist's life that I was not privy to before. Just get the abortion and I give you the 250. Like I wasn't used to hearing shit like that.
Yeah.
So that immediately got my vote, and I became a fan and signed up for everything Joe Budden. But it wasn't it wasn't consistently delivered to me like that throughout the years. So I've had an off again, on again relationship with Joe Budden, especially throughout these Love Lost Chronicles. And I was wondering where he was going to be at this next go around. Surprisingly, he picked it up. There's still a few things that needs to be worked on. I don't like it when I don't have too many quotables for a Joel Ortiz collaboration when that's usually your fire collaboration that you can always count
Mm.
on. But overall, I was happy as a Joe Budden fan walking away with it.
So I agree the quotables were not there like they should be. And there were even some points, and he's lucky I didn't have time to like pick them out. But there's a couple times where I was like, what the fuck did you just say? That's some stupid shit. How did that make it from your head to your hand and then onto the paper? Like, it don't make sense to me. What struck me about this album is how like regular it was, and I don't mean regular in a bad way. There, just regular. Like you, you really do make like these mixtapes that people love, and you also make these albums that are real regular. And again, like I don't mean that in a bad way, but it's like a here's my club song, here's my girl song.
Oh,
And for Joe, it's like here's my bread and butter, and it's some introspective shit.
yes, his albums are always formulaic. He has to tend to his different audiences that he's acquired throughout the years.
Yeah, and I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I did.
So yeah, so like I was just surprised there. like just how like regular it was in some places. Like, okay, like what's the song? Uncle Joe. He's just talking about people being young and how he's old and he feels like he's living life better than they are, but he's not, super hard judging nobody.
Yeah, I kind of related to Uncle Joe though because it was like it was like I thought it was cool how he flipped the perspectives, and I could relate to it, like banging space cards on the table, quoting Rockefeller bars, like preferring Biggie over turn up music.
Hmm.
And I can't front, like the first time that I saw Post Malone's name online, I did think of Karl Malone, aka the Mailman from the Utah Jazz.
And see, I thought of Glasses Malone, who's a
Mm.
guy who was at one point signed to Cash Money and somebody else's label, maybe at the same time. Might have been Mac 10 actually. But yeah, even like relating to it, it just felt like, so you're really gonna spend all this song talking about like how you're old and better than everyone.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but there was shit like so the Joel Ortiz feature is serious. I hate that hook. I hate, 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 capital H nigga. I fucking hate that hook.
Yes, that hook sounds like it was influenced by that old Slick Rick track with the Indians in the bitches
Yeah,
box.
they say something and then they go, ho. Like, why is this happening? God, it's so bad. And if it wasn't for those verses that, like, I think Joel, I feel like he said something kind of crazy in that song. Um,
Mm.
and the like growl that the two of them are doing, especially Joe. Like Joe's on his gangster shit, which is like a little weird because you can get whole mixtapes and albums where he's not a gangster at all.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about his gangster bars still sometimes, but and it wasn't that much quote to quote in this record to me. If you're asking me, I didn't like
No,
a lot of
there
Joel
wasn't.
Ortiz's shit. But what did make me laugh was that round up all the hostages, bum stickety bum. I mean, a lot of that shit be sounding like DOS effects, like that shit
Yeah,
tickled me to death. I wasn't expecting that fucking soundbite there.
yeah, and it's just plain old good. Like, yeah, there's nothing spectacular on that song, but like he and Joel together, um, work really well. I mean, like as usual. Like I think what Slaughterhouse does, like back and forth songs, isn't it usually the two of them together?
Yeah, they usually group those two together on a verses.
Um, so that was cool. By Law is cool. I don't really know what it's about. So,
That beat is everything.
yes. And we should probably say like most of these songs like aren't about anything that I can really tell. At least nothing like really specific that like is like By Law. I don't really know what that's about. Uncle Joe is just about being old. 3 is more like an intro than anything else. Um, I gotta ask ain't about shit. Time for Work it's probably about fucking or something. I don't like the song, so I don't play it. Idols is
uh,
about actually, so there's a good number of songs in here that are conceptual. I just don't fuck with most of them.
I give you that. Yeah, that's true. They have a lot of the concepts, but he doesn't flush out all of his concepts neither. Like you could tell when Joe's just getting a song off just to get a song off, and when he's actually spending time on
Yeah,
it.
and we got to deal with this. Like, why is Fabulous like the harbinger of quality doom on every album now?
Well, true, and he's flexing on his track, and I didn't mean to use that because of the name of the title, because of the title or whatever. But like, he outshined Joe on
You
that
think you
track.
clever?
I really didn't, but he truly outshined Joe on that track, and it's like it's when you live like you only gonna put out an album every 2 or 3 years, then your features gotta be all the way correct.
Yeah. And yeah, just Flex is another. Same with the Kyrie Chanel. I think was that the one that had Fabulous on it too. Like,
Yeah.
here's another stupid song trying to impress a girl, and we're not amused.
That's his MO though.
Yeah.
And but to bring it back to by law, I felt like I gotta address some of his bars because the beat is dope, and he said like she got my hammer on rock. I'm like throwing the club while she send me off the Remy. Bitch got my dick all the way up. Right.
Mm,
Notice
nice
how she's
references.
yes, and notice that how she's not gone off the Remy, which still would work. But it looks like we as MCs in this day and age have learned from the Rick Ross rape raps.
Oh, so what did he actually say instead of going off the Remy?
How she's semi off the Remy, like so
Oh,
she's still good enough to make decisions. You gotta, you gotta cover his ass there.
and it kind of it takes away that like rapey undertone that like
Mm-hmm.
gone off the Remy sounds like I've been pumping this bra full of Remy because I'm trying to fuck. Like it just sounds like she's made her own choices.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
At the very least, like you're not talking about who's choosing for her to drink more. You're just saying she sent me off the Remy.
So
Um, so yeah, that okay. I gotta bylaws definitely like just dope. Um, and then I don't think forget like had the soul sample, and it was like the one time he used a like real soul sample on the album.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, I seen Dame ship sip pink champagne and do drugs that'll put Charlie Sheen to shame off my penis till I came.
I think so.
Yikes. Yikes. When I heard that bar, because Charlie Sheen is just like he's the epitome of drug usage for this generation. Yeah, I don't think anybody comes closer that actually made it through and that's still alive and kicking. I mean, everybody else died.
Hmm. So
But
yeah,
if it's off his dick, is he still getting high off that?
uh, I would assume so.
Yes, until he came, it at least gets in his in his penis through the baby hole or whatever
That's a
pee
good
hole.
question. Like, we need to find some cokehead pimps or cokehead Max and like ask them these questions.
Like, what if his dick absorbs? What if the dick absorbs it and it like stays hard? Because like you know how coke gives you like that energy.
Hmm.
What if it's like the new Viagra or something?
I mean, it might be. I don't know. I want to find out now, but I don't want to.
I
I
don't
don't want to ask
how.
anyone any questions. I want to just
That means that you want to sprinkle a little bit on Dave Chappelle style.
no, you asshole. I want to read about it. I want someone to have already done the research and tell me if this works. What does it do?
You know a listener gonna come up to you one day and hold up an 8 ball and be like, "Hey, Daddy, you really want to try this out? Let's do this scientific method."
We could put it on you and see how you perform. No, sir, not for me. Um, so what else is on this track list? I gotta ask. Feels like a Jay-Z joint from Hard Knock Life 2. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. I'm pretty sure that Jay-Z got a check off for this. It was a silly ass music video that he shot for it though. I liked the fact that he featured his dog up in it and that he was mad egotistical and decided to show off his new crib after New York City radio trashed his old place like during that Drake beef when he decided to go Jason Bourne on niggas.
Oh shit. Sorry, just hit the mic. What else is there? Time for Work. I didn't really fuck with. Wrong One's pretty good.
Yeah, nothing special. I don't really I like I said, I don't know how to take Joe Budden and his super thug bars if he's not featuring niggas on the run eating on the track.
Yeah. And at some point, like a lot of these beats started to sound the same. Like it was like I can't describe it. It's a kind of like generic New York shit.
Staccato sounds, short, punchy sounds, a lot of
Yeah.
compression on it, and then these heavy ass drums that A-rap music is known for. A lot of dirt that blends it all together. But what happens is you get some heavy ass bass lines that keep it going, and that prevent you can't help but nod your head or at least rock your hips a little bit to it if you're a chick. Maybe if you're a dude and you like rocking your hips.
I
But
mean, hey, you dance how you dance. No judgment.
yeah, nigga, just get down. But like I could hear you with that whole generic. It does get old after a little while, but I do like you know, I want to know in Idols like they were timed perfectly right after Time for Working Wrong One because I started to lose interest by long wrong one after that two song stretch, and then I want to know kind of brought me back.
So I want to know. We got to talk a second about that. That second verse I like so much.
Yes.
I don't. I haven't fully decided what. Oh, geez, I just realized this woman, Stacey Barth, sounds like she's doing her Chrisette Michelle impression.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting on my nerves.
It's annoying.
But the second verse, he's talking. It sounds like to his son, but then he says like dissing me in music, and I can't get mad because I was doing the same when I was your age.
No, he is talking to his son, and
It feels
shout,
like he's also talking to like Jersey rappers, though.
yeah, I guess you could say that, and I guess maybe there is room for that because I don't. There's not too many Jersey rappers that I know of that grew up in that era that didn't throw a shot at Joe, at least to see if he'd respond.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but nah, he was definitely talking about his son Trayvon. I believe his son name is Trayvon. Either way, his son actually does music and disses him on some of his records.
Wow.
Uh,
Oh, so that really
uh,
happens. Okay. It was so ridiculous
yeah.
that I had to think of another explanation for it. But no, this is really his life.
Yeah, like and his bars, you could hear it in them. Like, so right now I stand in a place I never stood before. Finally feel the void in my life. I wasn't good before. Fucking with these hoes, that energy I was putting forth. God, this is more like the fucking love that I was looking for.
Hmm.
Like he's admitting to he's building off of the off of the confession that he made in the first verse, which is that that's why he was such a womanizer because he was looking for love in the wrong
Mm.
places. Like in the first verse, he said, "My worthless self. When Joe felt hurt, I went out and targeted women who had no self worth. I related. I relate to praying nightly, feeling no spell work. When you can do it, but a stranger gotta go help first." Like he's admitting to
Hmm.
that shit.
Okay. I didn't put the two together, but that makes sense now.
But my favorite record uh is Idols. And it's typical formulaic Joe. I'm gonna leave the last record or the last few records, and you could pick your favorite out of there. If you're a true hip hop lover, if you real lover of bars, then you're gonna love one of those records. And Idols is it for me.
Hmm. And so Idols is about just all the hip hop idols that he's had throughout his life. He name checks a lot of people.
Yes. I wonder if I kind of wonder did MC Search and him have a run in that wasn't too friendly.
Yeah, because doesn't he say Search is the wackest dude in third base?
Yes, so he's yes, he definitely rewrote history with that one.
And which is weird because Search was the front man. But I mean, that's how a
Yes.
lot of people end up. Like, I still like Q-Tip is dope, but I like Fife better.
Yeah, Five Diggity was better than me as well. Uh,
So maybe
but
that's not that unusual.
I don't know, maybe it's not that unusual, but how often do you hear people saying that MC Search was the wackest? Especially like
Never.
even yeah, not too often.
Never.
So I don't know about that. But the track wasn't just about that. Like it was about uh hip hop and like how it needs to be saved from the business perspective. That's why it was shouting out Jay-Z and addressing it to him.
Okay, yeah. I think the second verse was more about that.
Y- yeah, yeah.
It I guess I kept listening for like, so when are you gonna say what we should do? And I don't think he got there.
Yeah, I think he ended off the first verse by saying like it doesn't take a genius basically to see what's going on, but it's not like we can do too much about it. So let me reach out to those who can. And that's when he started off the second verse addressing it to Jay
Mm.
with this whole title situation and streaming wars. But I did notice that he still took shots at Drake during the damn second
What did he
verse.
say about Drake?
Not the richest, just the sickest ass the dudes in your tier. Knew if I made it to the top, I hate the views from up there. We don't value the same shit. I spoke through the despair. Stood out before it was cool to be weird. My nigga, you just appeared. Before these niggas hit puberty, I was online talking like it's just you and me. And we all know about that video that he's referring to.
Um, the one way back when, where
Yeah.
he's saying how much he loves Drake's music, and people are calling him emo for that.
Yeah, when him and Drake actually met up during the Joe Budden TV episode, and Drake was all like, you'll never see me replying back to an artist when they throw a diss at me, and Joe Budden's like calling it out like, nah nigga, you gonna reply sooner or later, and all this other stuff. That little moment that they had back in the day before Drake blew.
Oh, that's dope. I didn't know that happened.
I watched it live. Well, not live, but as soon as he posted it back in the
I
day.
think I stopped following him sometime in between what I mentioned and that. Like,
Nigga, you part time. It's like, nah.
it got old for me, and I think he stopped posting nearly as much, so I just unsubscribed.
True.
Um, so my favorite joint. Oh, and Idols is another one that has like a real like soul beat.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what's my favorite on here? Might be. I can't say serious because of that hook, so it's got to be by law. By law, forgot. Forgot's dope. Forgot's another like soul sample. It feels like the stylistics.
Mm.
Let me see who's on that. Who sampled?
Why
Joe Budden, forget samples. Yep, stylistics. Your love's too good. Too good to be forgotten. Yeah. I knew
Damn.
that sounded like him.
Damn. I wasn't able to pick that out off of listening it.
And I don't even know the original song. I love the stylistics. So their main dude, like his falsetto voice, like I know that voice.
I've been meaning to get into those niggas. I've been on the Ohio players as far as like my sample research as of lately.
Mm.
So you got to put me down on some stylistic shit, and I'll put you down on some Robert Glasper shit that I think is dope.
All right, cool. Let me I'm gonna say it, but I'm gonna make the list right now in the dot. Stylistics. So Betcha by Golly Wow. Makeup to breakups.
Oh, that's them niggas with the super MJ type. falsetto
Oh,
like
it's high as
make
fuck,
up
dog.
to break up.
Mm-hmm.
That nigga, oh, them niggas get it.
Yes. Um,
So while you typing that up, what do you think about Joe Budden's bar during like the first track of the record? Like indeed it be the God. If Fetty Wap is the face of New Jersey, then you see how badly we need to die.
so that's the one. That's one of the ones I wanted to pick out as questionable. I know
I
what he
thought it
was
was comedy.
I know what he was trying to do.
Make us laugh.
No, it was more than that. He thought he was being really clever right there.
You really think so? You don't think it was comedy?
I think it sounded too serious. I think he was trying to be clever, and he don't tell no jokes. Like,
What do you mean? Okay, that's like saying that Cameron meant every bit of his dick was going inside of your grandma's wop or box or whatever when he said dog I'll wow with your nana doggy style on the hamper.
but that's so ridiculous that we know that he's not serious. The
and,
way
and-
and like Cameron has like established himself as a jokester in his music.
true.
Joe, like, I feel like he was trying there. And I remember like hearing that bar and like, wait, rewind that. What is he? Oh, Fetty Wap's missing an eye. And you're saying y'all need eye. Oh,
And
stop
then
it.
right after that, like Arab music makes the choir go, oh yeah.
Accentuate this bullshit. Yeah, dog, I was not pleased. That was definitely one of the ones where I was like, what is happening right here? This is not good. Yeah. There's a few times on here where I felt like he ran out of steam and he was just saying whatever.
Yeah.
And he was trying to like ride his voice into being good.
Yeah, because he brought the growl, like he used the growl like pretty consistently in this record, where that's not usually the case from Joe.
And I mean his delivery sounds dope, so I'm not mad at
Yeah.
it. I just you got to get the rest of your package together. It
Real.
can't just be about that.
That's definitely true, but I'm definitely glad that he didn't go like Omoto Technique with the growl, because that kind of when Omoto Technique developed his growl, I kind of was really turned off by it.
It was pretty weird, wasn't it? With that third album, Revolutionary Volume 3.
Yeah.
The middle passage. Yeah, like all of a sudden his voice changed and he's like growling every single verse out. Yeah, that shit was weird. Joe used it to accentuate his stuff, and I'm cool with that. I do think my favorite joint is Forget though. He's just talking about like people he knew that he forgot, and like how like I think he talks about the hood changing, but I might be making that up. But like I really love that sample. It's used well. And it makes for a really good song. It's either gonna be that or Serious, even as bad as Serious's hook is. But Serious is a joint with Joel Ortiz, and they kind of kill it, even if it's not like their best performances.
I truly hope that Slick Rick got a royalty check off of that hook, man.
You know he didn't.
You never know. Maybe his paperwork is right. He's the ruler.
I don't roll nothing. He almost got deported. Like, they didn't make up that sound, that fake ass Indian chant thing.
He used it. Only thing they did was add a hoe at the end. But that is literally what Slick Rick said. Hey, yeah, hey, yeah, hey, yeah.
Yep, Slick Rick made it up. So anyway, I don't know who to say like won this one. It's definitely between Game and Joe Budden. And between the two of them, like I don't know.
For me,
I feel like Game's more consistent with his verses, but his like he's got some songs that are just totally skippable.
Actually, Joe Budden got a couple songs that's skippable on here. I found more skippables on games, but it always comes down to the bars for me. And Joe Budden got more quotables, so I go with Joe Budden this week on my end.
I think you're right. Like, not for the quotables, but for like songs that are varied enough, um, and mostly not boring. I think the song I dislike the most on this joint is Flex with Tory Lanez and Fabulous. But besides that, like, I'm at least cool with most of these songs, even if I don't like them. And a good number of these I like. Like, if I run down this line, this track list, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Time for Work probably makes 6. 6 out of 11. And Idols ain't bad. There's a couple that aren't bad that I kept off my list. Like, that's not a bad ratio. And I feel like Games would be
Hmm.
worse.
Damn, he don't like Flex and Idols didn't make it to his list. I don't know. Draws must not drop that much in your community, but over here,
No, fuck Flex. This shit's terrible.
over here, Flex
But
be ringing.
Idols is pretty good.
Yeah. I totally agree on Idols. That Idols is good. Flex, it got played out a little bit just because of the how it was everybody's single on and on everybody's record. But if Joe would have kept that to the hip and not bartered for those verses and let it be on everybody's records, then I felt like I would have been able to appreciate it a little more.
Who else's joint is it on?
It's on everybody's that was on it. It was on Fabulous's. It was on Tory Lanez.
Fabulous is what? You can't just say Fabulous is. He ain't had no album recently.
Oh, well, then it was on his mixtape, nigga.
The Summertime Shootout too?
Probably 4 or whatever number he's on now.
Let me see.
It was on that one. It was on Tory Lane's album. I think they like switched up the names to get it off like 4 a.m. Flex and Flex and Flexing. I think they played that game. I wouldn't even be surprised if A-Rap got a version about to come out on his Machine album or whatever. But I know it was definitely on Fabulous and Tory Lanez's project.
Yeah, it's called 4 a.m. Flex on Summertime Shootout 2. And then on Tory Lanez, I listened to that album. I don't remember it, but like I didn't really like that album a whole lot. Yep, there's a song called Flex.
At least on Joe Budden, he's the only one that
Yeah,
has
it's the
the
same shit.
complete mixed version.
Yeah, wow. So that's frustrating. All these people have the same song on their albums that came out around the same time.
Yep, I've been hearing this
Well,
same
albums and
song for like
mixtapes.
3-4 months now.
Yeah,